Hello, and today we'll continue with Reconnected. Soon enough, the metal streets and glowing energy pylons melt away, replaced with the foliage and greenery from the campus. Aurora, Aurelia towers above us like a stone portrait painted onto a green canvas. It's refreshing, honestly. I'm so used to the cold, hard rocks and tundra of Titan that seeing something so naturally vibrant is a small pleasant I wouldn't have expected to enjoy as much as I do. A soft wind whispers through the trees, caressing, orchestrating their diamond-shaped leaves into a symphony. I stop walking and take a deep breath. The cool air chills the fur around my eyes, reminding me just for a moment of the cold nights back home. My eyes flutter close and I soak in the sounds of Zenithir speaking around me. I can do this. Failure isn't an option. My people are counting on me. My friends are counting on me. And I'm not going to let them down, no matter what. I can do this. I steel my resolve and follow the twins into the common room. It's mostly empty. Part of me was half expecting to see Kai sitting at one of the tables, but he isn't here, and neither is anyone else for that matter. The only sound breaking the silence is the soft hum of machinery in the walls, and the deep rhythm of my own breathing. Atticus looks around as if Kai could be hiding behind one of the pillars or something. Maybe he's in your room. Maybe he's in your dorm, Plover. Either that or he's still entertainment. But you're right. If he's going to be anywhere, it's probably going to be in the room. We walk down the hall together, and I swipe my key card to open the door. Empty as well. Kai is nowhere to be seen. Atticus and Acadia share a glance between themselves and then over at me as I go and sit on my bed. It shouldn't have taken this long. He should be he should have been back by now. Atticus nods in agreement and steps further into the dorm. Should should we stay here and wait for him? They want to wait here in my room. I mean, personally, I don't mind, but what if Kai doesn't want to see them? It's Zenillian peacekeepers that have him. Maybe being around more Zenillians is the last thing he would want right now. Kai said that Atticus and Acadia are good people before, but I don't really know what terms they're on, and I definitely don't want to risk stepping on his toes. Especially not after today, but at the same time, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'd enjoy having some friendly company. It's okay. So I think Kai will like that. Atticus smiles and walks deeper into the room with his sister. I scoot up towards my headboard and pat the bed with my tail, gesturing for them to sit at the foot of it. Atticus sets down the bag of salad products next to my bag and plops himself onto my mattress. Thanks for letting us stay. I just wanted to make sure he's okay, you know? I nod and relax my weary back on the firm surface. Yeah, I get it. It's no trouble. I don't mind at all. I don't think Kai will either. They both look around the dorm, probably noticing the lack of furniture or decorations when Acadia notices a massive sword above Kai's bed. Wow, any idea what that is, Plover? I chuckle a bit and shake my head. Not a clue. He mentioned something about it being an artifact that he's responsible for, or something along those lines. It went a bit over my head, to be honest, but yeah, other than that, I got nothing. Acadia sighs deeply and gets comfortable, pulling the hem of my blanket into her lap. Damn Coterans and their gods is ridiculous. A sharp glance from her brother puts her in her place as she starts to play with the fabric in her paws. Anyways, I'm actually starting to get pretty hungry. What do you say we go to the cafeteria after this, Cady? She smiles and licks her muzzle. Sounds great to me. Atticus turns his attention over to me, flashing me a delightful smile. What about you? What are you going to eat? I point at a box by the nightstand and my tail starts to wag at the prospect of food. When I got here a few days ago, there was a package full of Solonian food. It's great. You guys want to try some? They both nod eagerly and stand up off the bed. I pull open the box and showcase the varieties of produce and snacks. Atticus really seems to enjoy the blackberries, while Arcadia has a bit of a liking for strawberries. Next, I open up one of the packs of steak, and to my surprise, they both turn their noses. You seriously eat that? Huh? It's just a steak. What's so weird about that? What do you mean, it's just a steak? Arcadia looks at me skeptically. So Solonians are meat eaters too, just like the Caterians. My eyes grow wide in shock and my tail momentarily stops thumping happily against the mattress. You're not? They both vehemently shake their heads. Absolutely not, no. Any particular reason? Personal preference, perhaps? Arcadia looks like she's asking about the gag and takes a step back. Don't you think it's a bit barbaric, eating another living thing? I've experienced enough at this point to know that Arcadia is a really opinionated person, but this is just how it is in Soloria. No, not really. I guess it's just a cultural thing then, and I prefer it if you just leave it at that, if you're going to judge me for it. Arcadia's disgust expression fades away and she brushes at her shirt. Atticus looks over at me with soft eyes before glaring at his sister. You're absolutely right. It's not our place to judge, Kaidi. It's pretty obvious he's chastising her reaction, and honestly, I'm glad he did. It's not even something I really thought about. It's just normal, I guess. Atticus smiles at me, but I'm pretty sure it's a bit forced. Well, I'm glad that you enjoy it, even if it's not something we're really interested in trying ourselves. And thank you for letting us give Solonian food a taste. Those berries were pretty cool. He sits back on the bed and Arcadia joins him after giving us both a look. I can hear their tiny stomachs start to rumble, and I realize it has been quite some time that they've been waiting here. Hey, I appreciate you guys giving it a shot. I'm glad you liked the berries. But on that note, who knows how long it's going to be until Kai shows up. It could be another hour even. You two go get yourself some food. Their eyes grow wide, and my request, clearly not wanting to leave me on my own. Don't worry guys, I'll be fine. They seem to weigh my words for a moment, and then stand up off the bed in unison. Alright, Plover, as long as you'll be okay. Atticus turns to the door, wrapping his arm around his sister as he does. Make sure you let us know how it goes with him, okay? Kai can be a bit emotional at times, so keep that in mind. Yeah, please let us know. I hope you enjoy the shampoo too. Before I know it, they both left the room and I'm gone. I stretch my legs out on the bed and sigh deeply. One hell of a day. I sure hope Kai's alright. It's been a pretty damn long time since he's gotten taken away. My eyes drift around the room and land on the bag of products Atticus purchased for me earlier. I'll probably have time for a quick shower. We want to offend Kai's keen sense of smell when he gets here anyways. I pull the 3 bottles and brush out of the bag, a towel, and head into the bathroom. My clothes easily slip off my body, and I slide open the glass doors. I set my new products down on one of the inlaid cells and swipe my hand over the display pad to turn on the water. The warm water rushes from the nozzle and splashes onto my fur. I make sure my thick coat is soaked all the way through before I pop open my new shampoo. Let's see what this fancy Cinellarian stuff is all about. The viscous liquid is a deep bronze color and it lathers through my fur effortlessly. Suds foam and froth all over my body and the sensation is honestly amazing. I can feel my skin tingling as the shampoo does its job. Wow, Atticus wasn't lying. This stuff is well worth the money. The rich scent of vanilla fills the steamy chamber, and I can't help but smile at the familiarity. I wash off the shampoo and try out the conditioner, which I am equally impressed by. The lather seems to coat every strand of fur in silken sheen as smooth as butter. My fur hasn't even felt this glossy before, and I swear my pelt is reflecting the lights of the bathroom. I allow myself a few more minutes to enjoy the warm water before I turn off the shower and shake off the clinging moisture. The steam keeps me warm as I towel myself dry and step out into the bathroom. I grab my new brush and get to work. Its fine teeth do a great job of getting the snags and setting out of my undercoat. A quick check in the mirror confirms I'm looking just as great as I feel. Being a dude just has this way of making me feel confident, especially after a shower. Back home on Titan, I frequently just walk around my apartment naked. Not like anyone would be around to see me, right? I drape my towel over my shoulders and head back into the dorm, enjoying the sensation of letting it all hang out as I go to get changed with a big smile on my muzzle. The cooler air of the dorm cascades on my body, and the class and temperature makes me settle just a bit. Well, worth the money, Atticus, well worth it. I look up from the ground, drawing in a deep breath. Oh shit. Ugh. I look down my dick that's proudly on display, then back up a kite. Fuck. I throw my paws up, trying to grab the towel off my shoulders and panic to cover myself by accidentally sending it flying over onto my bed. Oh, my apologies, Plover. I quickly turn away, covering his eyes. He quickly turns away, covering his eyes with his massive paws to give me some semblance of privacy. I snap a towel and wrap it around my waist to cover my shame. I've never been so embarrassed in my entire life. Guys, I'm such a fucking moron. Shit, Kai, I'm so sorry, man. I'm not used to having roommates. I stumble over my words and I can feel myself blush a deep shade of red. He lets out a wise chuckle, but I can tell from his posture that he's actually really uncomfortable. It is all right, my friend. Are you decent? Give me a second to get some clothes on. My arms are shaking from the awkwardness of the situation as I pull a change of clothes out of my bag and slip on my underwear and shorts beneath the confines of the towel. Yeah, I'm decent now. Fuck. I'm so sorry, Kai. He slowly uncovers his eyes, timidly checking to see if I'm covered. I sit down on the edge of the bed and wrap my paws around my bare chest. Kai's expression of disbelief fades away to his normal calm demeanor. Well, that was rather unexpected. My muzzle hangs low with shame, and to my surprise, Kai starts to laugh. It is okay. It is not a big deal. I'm merely surprised, that is all. The rumbling bass of his voice is doing very little to suppress the deep flush spreading across my face. There's no need to be embarrassed, friend. Was it not you who once told me that I'm allowed to be comfortable in my own space however I please? Well, at least he seems to be in a good headspace. Yeah, I said that. Doesn't mean I wanted my roommate to see me parading around naked. Kai vehemently shakes his head as he tries to placate me. I don't believe that is what you were doing at all. You were not aware I had returned. It was simply an accident, nothing to be ashamed of or take too seriously. I sigh and allow myself to relax, even if I am still really embarrassed. Thanks for being understanding. I'll be more careful in the future. He smiles at me and sits down on the edge of his bed. That would be much appreciated. It will go a long way to minimizing these sorts of embarrassments in the future. Right, embarrassments. He's definitely straight, although given the close proximity and nature of our living situation, I suppose it was only a matter of time before something like this occurred. So let's just So let's just say that it's good. We got this sort. Well, so let's just say that's good. We got this out of the way. However, if we do not mind, I think I will join you. I truly cannot stand and feel these clothes. Kai quickly stripped the shirt off over his head, revealing his bulging muscles. He's got a point. This sort of thing was an inevitability, I suppose. Yeah, I guess you're right. Hopefully, I won't be caught in the same situation anytime soon. I assure you, the sight of me naked would be rather uncomfortable for us both. Yeah, that would be the worst. I take it he probably hasn't figured out I'm gay. Obviously, I haven't outright told him, but I thought maybe when he caught me staring when we first met, it was a tip towards my preferences. Seems he just wrote it off as me being curious. Agreed. Let's try our best to avoid this type of thing later on. Kai smirks and I can see his nose twitching slightly. Although, I must say, the scent you have chosen to wear smells divine. It is unlike anything I have ever experienced before. I don't know what's caused it, but it's truly enjoyable. I can't help but blush, and I'm starting to get embarrassed again. I just want to change the topic. Well, thanks for the compliment. So, how are you doing, with everything that happened earlier? Kai's smile slowly fades away, but his cheery demeanor seems to remain. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm a bit wary of pressing the issue, but given how he still seems to be in a good mood, I think it'll be okay if I dig a little deeper. So what happened after you left? You were pretty pissed. He scratches at one of his long ears in the claw before responding to me. Pissed. I will need to remember this one. But yes, I was quite pissed, as it were. Was I wrong to be? I pulled back onto my bed in surprise at his question. He's seriously questioning himself. He's questioning if he overreacted at being profiled and hauled off for no good reason. I could say if I was in his paws, I definitely wouldn't be this calm about it. Not at all. You had every right to be mad. Well, what happened then? You were gone for a really long time. Kai noticeably grows a bit more contemplative, and lets out a thick huff. They look me. They took me to the peacekeeper precinct downtown for questioning. It would seem living here for 3 cycles is enough to save me from the whims of Zenillian scrutiny. I feel my earlier embarrassment quickly being replaced with anger and frustration, like a snake coiling up to strike. It's bullshit that they did that to you. They had no right. That is all they did to you, right? They didn't hurt you or anything, did they? He sighs and sits crisscrossed on his large bed. I am unharmed, thankfully. The peacekeepers simply asked me plenty of questions about where I was, what I have been doing, that sort of thing. It, I, I feel as if I have done something wrong, even if I know I have not. He stumbles over his own words, and I can tell he's starting to get a bit emotional, just like Acadia said he would. A sigh of relief escapes my muzzle at knowing that he didn't get abused in any way. It must be hard for Kai. Not just getting profiled like this, but knowing that he could crush a Zenillian with one paw if he wanted to, yet still needing to show restraint. Even though I have lived here for quite some time, I can't help but feel. I hold my tongue, allowing Kai to finish his thought. Well, I don't know. A bit like a monster. My breath catches in my chest, and my voice stops in the middle of my throat. He feels just like I do. Out of place, monstrous. I get up off my bed and walk over to his, sitting beside him. I place my paw on his shoulder. His midnight fur is pleasantly soft, almost sickly in texture. His midnight fur is pleasantly soft, almost silky in texture. I can sense the dormant strength of his taut muscles beneath my touch. To my surprise, he's not warm at all. His body feels cold, icy. almost like his fur is refrigerated or something, like he just stepped out of a cyber chamber. But annoying, annoying. I placed my paw on his shoulder. His midnight fur is pleasantly soft, almost silky in texture. I can sense the dormant strength of his taut muscles beneath my touch. To my surprise, he's not warm at all. His body feels cold, icy, almost like his fur is refrigerated or something, like he just stepped out of a cyber chamber. Regardless, I give his shoulder a gentle squeeze and look directly into his glowing violet eyes. I don't really care about personal boundaries right now. He needs to know someone has his back. That he's not alone, just like I'm not alone. You're not a monster, Kai. And trust me, I know exactly how you feel. I'm a Solarian. I know exactly how you feel. He looks down at my paw, resting on his shoulder, then back up to me a bit timidly. What they did to you is fucked up, Kai. You're innocent in all this. Kai reaches and takes my paw in his, slowly moving it off his shoulder and placing it onto my lap. I'm not offended, but the message is pretty clear that he doesn't appreciate me touching him. I scoot away, widening the stance between us, hoping to make him more comfortable. Your words are kind, Plover. I suppose you would have some insight to this sense of otherness. I nod gently and drape my tail across my legs to keep my paws occupied. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have touched you without asking. I just want to let you know that I'm here for you. If you want me to be, that is. Kai's ears droop even lower at my words. I'm aware that you are trying to comfort me. I'm merely not accustomed to physical contact from others. Odd. Why would he not be used to physical contact? Do him and Kiara not touch each other or something? Or does he simply mean he's uncomfortable being touched by me specifically? But I appreciate your attempts all the same. He rumbles out another exasperated sigh and his posture slumps. Perhaps beings like you and I were not meant to coexist with the Xenolerians. If I did not desperately need their help, if there was any other option to help my people, I feel as if I would have already returned to Kotera to, well. His voice trails off before he reveals anything else, and he covers his face in his paws. My claws grip into the mattress as he wordlessly breaks down in front of me. I never realized that this situation is so similar to mine. Neither of us really want to be here, but we have to be, for our people. I'm not really sure how to comfort him without pushing too far, so I decided to just let him feel his way through this on his own. Normally so, well, I guess I don't really know how he normally is, to be fair, but something tells me that showing emotion like this is a common occurrence for him. A soft whine warbles from his lips, and he takes a deep breath as he struggles to get his emotions under control. When he speaks, his voice is significantly more level, but it's obvious that he's forcing it. My deepest apologies, Plover. It was not my intention to make my problems your problems. Hearing how closed off he's choosing to be hurts, but I get it. I'm the same way. Doesn't make it any easier to witness, though. Kai, don't think like that, man. Times may be hard right now. You know that as well as I do. but we can't give up hope, okay? I stand up off his mattress, allowing him to reclaim full control of his space. Have you ever considered that maybe talking about it with someone could help you could help you, like, I don't know, come to terms with whatever is happening on Cortera? I sound like such a fucking therapist right now. Kai takes a moment to wipe off his glistening eyes and turns to face me. Yes, I have considered this. Kiara and I speak of such things, and she has been a great help to me. This is partially why I'm so frustrated by my earlier detainment. She and I were meant to spend more time together tonight, and I feel as if I am letting her down by not showing up. I sit down on my bed and give him what I can only hope is a sympathetic look. You must miss her. What did she say when you told her what happened? His glum expression turns to one of shock, like he wasn't expecting me to ask something like that. I have not told her. I do not wish to upset her. He didn't tell her. Why the hell would he not tell her? But, but I thought he just said that he talks to her all the time. You know what? Never mind. I suppose that's honorable. What I really want to say is that's stupid, but hey, it's his life to live, not mine. But don't you think she'll be more upset after she learns that you kept the truth from her? Kai's muscle pulls back with a snarl. At my words, he slightly bares his fangs. I have no intentions of telling her. Tell me, Plover, is there a girl back home for you on Celoria? A special girl, I mean. I feel a whisper of my earlier embarrassment return, crawling over my back like a spider in a web as he glares at me. Well, that's not really any of his fucking business, to be honest. I guess he wouldn't have asked if he didn't have a good reason. I don't have anyone like that. Haven't had anyone like that in quite a while, if I'm honest. Why do you ask? He grimaces at me, his eyes prowling over my body. Not to be disrespectful, but you do not know a single thing about Cortera or what the dynamics are in terms of relationships. And also, seeing as how you do not have a relationship yourself, kindly keep your unwanted advice yourself, Sololian. Wow, definitely wasn't expecting that. I'm just trying to help, but fuck me for trying, I guess. Fine, I get it. I can take a hint. I'll leave you alone. I lay my back on the bed and roll over so I'm facing the wall as I turn away from him. My tail curls up over my legs like a blanket and my ears are pinned down at his blatant rejection. Fuck you, Kai, fucking jerk. You know, I've had a shitty day too. Here I am, going out of my way to try and help you feel better. But if you want to throw it back in my face, that's your choice, not mine. Plover, I hear a low, frustrated growl rumble towards me, and it sets my fur on end. Plover, I am sorry. He stops mid-sentence, once again, as if unsure of what to say. It's fine. I'm just your roommate, nothing more. It's not my place to assume I have the right to be here for you. It's a bitch thing to say, but it's true. I don't owe him a damn thing, and neither does he. I don't accept help from others well either. At least I'm respectful about it. Plover, I would like to retract the things that I've said. He sighs, and I can hear the same running evident in his words. Back home on Kotera, we quit wolves, spend most of our lives in complete isolation. It is not natural for me to interact so closely with another. It is not natural for me to interact so closely with another, let alone to discuss such personal matters. Complete isolation? What the hell are you talking about now, Kai? I turn my body so I can face him, and I can see regret written all over his face. What do you mean by that? Don't you have family, friends? He sighs and slowly shakes his head. I do. I have a family, but I only see them a few times a cycle. When the males of a species are very young, maybe 8 or 9 years of age. We are taken from our families. We are trained to fulfill our sacred duty, and that duty is an isolating experience. After we assume our duties, it is normal for a crip wolf to go months without seeing another Cotarian. Kai traced one paw over his 3 glowing marks, then points at his eyes as he leans forward to give me a better look at him. This luminescence is not for show. It is a trait specifically bred and evolved over thousands of years to help us see in the darkness of the crypts. My blood glows so I can generate light without an exterior source, and my eyes can pierce through the shadows like a blade. I can see the pain in his pupils, lying dormant under his stoic expression. As a result of this, I struggle very much to read Plover. Not because I'm unintelligent, but because my eyes do not see the symbols very clearly. Kai scoffs, and the tone of his voice has a hint of self-deprecation layered over it. What use would a Crip Wolf have for a book? No, better to be able to see in the dark, right? Reading is not my mandate. I can only stare on in shock as I realize just how far beyond my scope of comprehension his life really is. I remember now, the first day that I met him, his data pad gave him a notification, and he had to hold it inches away from his face in order to read it. I had no idea. He stands up and then points to the dark colorations of his fur. Counterstated fur, designed specifically to keep me camouflaged in low light, so that I cannot be detected by those that will defile the holy sites. Kai steps forward, taking my paw pad into his and presses it against his chest so I can feel. A chilling sensation seeps into my body while goosebumps begin to creep up my arm like I just touched a frozen lake. Near freezing body temperature, no need for a fire or warmth on cold and lonely Cotera nights if I am the same temperature as the crypt itself. Fucking hell. The true meaning of his words slams into me, and I almost feel sort of breath from the revelation. Well, this certainly explains Kai's unique appearance. Kai isn't just some Coteran subspecies. He's like a freak in nature, some fucked up artificially bred creature designed to fulfill an even more fucked up religious calling. Kai, please help me to understand how something like this was even allowed to happen. Allowed? I have been told since birth that it was an honor. I am proud to be a Crip Wolf. My ancestors volunteered for this. They believed nothing could bring them greater joy than to submit their very essence, our very being, their Therion and his will, to become his perfect servants. And now, this is what we are. Who am I? Well, who I am, whether I chose or not. I get to my feet and take a hesitant step towards him. Kai, do you feel like a monster not because of how big you are compared to the Zenilians, but because of what you are? Because of what your species was designed to do? To be violent? His eyes grow wide, and I can see his broad posture begin to quiver, ever so slightly. Plover, you do not. Even still, after all I have just shown you, you do not judge me, you do not fear me, knowing what I am, knowing I was bred for a nefarious purpose. I meet his gaze head on, grabbing the bull by the horns as it were. No, I see no reason to be afraid. I don't care about any of that. It would be very hypocritical of me to judge someone else based on the decisions of their ancestors. Very hypocritical. My muscle pulls back with a slight smile. I see you are nothing more than a friendly guy who's desperately trying to find his own place in an unforgiving universe. Just a big Coteran party slut and a good friend. I hope my stupid joke is enough to lighten the mood, and I try my best to gauge his reaction to it. My upper lip starts to tremble, causing Lord's fangs to poke out as he struggles to maintain his composure. Before I know it, his enormous paws suddenly surge forward, pulling me back, pulling me against his bare chest. My vision is quickly obscured by dark fur, and my senses are overwhelmed with the heavy scent of sage mixed with his thick, natural musk. One of the three jagged, glowing marks shines vividly against my muzzle, and I can feel his heart drumming deeply beneath my cheek. His body is as cold as ice, and it's almost as if I was jumped into a snowbank head first. The quick wolf's body simmers with life as emotions course through him. Massive paws wrap tightly around my exposed back, digging into my undercoat as he runs them gently up and down my fur. Kai's chest heaves as he starts to weep, his tears dripping onto the top of my head. I hesitantly place my paws around him as well, noticing the hills and valleys of muscle stretching out like a canvas for me to explore as I try to console him. My muzzle, his muzzle presses down into the fur atop my head, and he inhales deeply. Thank you, Plover. He's barely able to get the words out as he continues to sob weakly. Thank you for your acceptance. It is a blessing, the likes of which I have not known in a very long time. I can't stop my heart from fluttering beneath my ribs at his words like a river trying to flood against a dam. Before I have a chance to respond, he gently separates me from his frigid embrace and starts to laugh through the tears. It would seem your words have rang true. He smiles richly and wipes at his eyes with one paw. Speaking with you has made me feel much better about my situation. I chuckle as well and give him a firm pat on the back before I release him from our sudden hug. Anytime, slut, he confides loudly, and his pelt ripples as he shakes his body all over, as if the lingering feelings of sadness are clinging to him like droplets of rain. The dreary atmosphere that's been prevalent in the room starts to fade away, and he proudly puts his paws on his hips. I am Kai Wyken. I am a Quiltwolf, and I am proud of who I am. He announces his statement boldly into the room and plops himself down onto his bed with a dense thud. Plover, you Silurians are truly one of a kind if you are any representation of the rest of your species. I smirk at his cheerful antics and lay down on my own bed as well. I'm not sure about all of that, but I'll try my best. I'm glad you're feeling better, though. Kai's smile grows louder as he allows himself to relax. I do feel better. My day thus far has been less than ideal, but your patience has left me feeling significantly more cheery. So tell me, what occurred after I was detained? What did you end up doing? Based on your intoxicating scent, I assume you have gone shopping without me. I follow his lead and get myself comfortable in our shared dorm. Well, Atticus and Arcadia were kind enough to take me shopping in your stead, and then we return here to wait for you. Kai sniffs at the air once again and gives me a knowing smile. Of course, that explains why you smell noticeably more pleasant than when we conversed earlier this morning. As for Atticus and Arcadia, what is it that you mean when you say they waited here for my return? They actually waited here for me for quite some time to make sure you were all right before they left to get some food. It was getting late. Kai seems to be a bit surprised at my words, and he sniffs again, this time like more curiously, like his nose is searching for something in the air. You mean they were here in our room, Plover? I nod and fluff up the pillow that I'm resting my back on. Yeah, they were here for maybe 45 minutes, before they left. They were wanted. I mean, they just wanted to see you before they headed out. I see. I'm glad Atticus and Arcadia are not here, and that they decided to leave before I returned. Right, he's glad that he didn't see them. I thought he and Arcadia were getting along great, and he says they were good people. Oh, is there a reason why? I thought you liked them. Kai claws start to prick at the blankets on his bed while popping sound as he responds. I like them in comparison to the others in the living rooms. They are good people, but I would be wary of those two Plover. It would seem his relationship with the twins is a bit more dramatic than I previously anticipated. You want me to be wary of them, Kai? What do you mean by that? All things considered, they have been very kind to me so far and have been very welcoming. Kai's expression becomes a little more, and the indigo glow of his eyes is unwavering. You are allowed to formulate your own opinions, of course, my friend. I am merely offering you some advice in return for your kind words. I do not believe they are all that they seem to be. The fur along my spine stands on end and bristles at his ominous warning. I'm not quite sure what to make of it, and that's deeply unsettling to me. Even still, I force my voice to be neutral and calm as I try to sound polite. Well, thanks for the tip, Kai. I appreciate it. I'll keep that in mind going forward. I want to trust Kai. I really do. Especially after he just showed me that he trusts me enough to allow himself to be vulnerable. But at the same time, he obviously has secrets of his own, and that's an intimidating thing to realize, that he might have his own secret personal agenda as well. Kai nods happily at my words and lays down fully on his bed, sprawling out spread eagle. Of course, my friend. His jaws stretch wide in an enormous yawn, and I really get a good look at his canines, viciously long and glinting with a bit of drool in the light. They are a pretty grim reminder of the danger Kai could pose if he ever chose to be a threat. I also get a pretty good look at, well, something else. Guys, he's gotta be fucking massive down there. The bulge beneath his shorts is very prominent, and it takes every ounce of self-control I have to stop staring at it. Thankfully, he's looking up at the ceiling and isn't really paying attention to my oogling. I believe it is time for me to fall asleep, my friend. We have our first day of cultural ceremony tomorrow, and I can feel my dreams calling to me. He lifts up his blankets and slips underneath them, snuggling deep into their comfort and warmth. Now that he's covered, it makes focusing much easier than it was just a few moments ago. His tail is so lengthy that it's still clearly visible as it drapes out off the edge in between our two beds. Good night, Plover. Will you be so kind as to allow me to turn off the lights? The question pulls me back into the moment at hand, forcing my mind into the room. Oh yeah, of course, by all means. I chuckle a bit at his manner of speaking. I find it a bit endearing if I'm being honest. Kai gives me a toothy grin as he lazily reaches to the nightstand and picks up his own data pad in one paw. He pulls it close to his muzzle. I can see the electric lights illuminating his features as he scans over to the device. His eyes dart left and right, searching over the data pad, no doubt looking for the room settings. Yeah, I can see it now. He really does have a hard time reading, even if it doesn't seem to bother him all that much. After a few moments, he lifts up his other paw and swipes downward, letting out a satisfied yelp as the dorm lights fade to black. He returns the data pad to its place. The glass in the window must also have some sort of dimmer setting because the moonlight that was trickling in blacks out, leaving us in relative darkness. Kai's sword glows above his bed, casting a faint illumination down upon his curled form. Good night, my friend, and thank you once again. His deep voice soothes my flustered desires a bit, and I see the stunning purple of his oasis vanish as he closes his eyes. Don't mention it. Have a good night's sleep, Kai. I think I see him smile through the darkness, but I can't really be certain. My own eyes grow. My own eyes grow heavy in the dim light. I wasn't planning on falling asleep so soon, but it has been one hell of a day after all. Normally, I take some time to jerk off before bed just to help me relax. But with Kai around, or roommates in general for that matter, that's sort of out of the question entirely, which is a damn shame. I crawl under the covers and once again I'm amazed at how their weighted texture just makes me want to pass out. They pretty instantly get me to relax and I can hear Kai's gentle snores start drifting through the dorm like butterflies flying through a lazy forest. My own consciousness starts to fade away as well, slipping further and further away from me into the pillow, where regardless of the uncertainty of everything's going on right now, who I can trust, who I can't trust. One thing is for damn certain. I can't wait to hug Kai again. A cold, hard surface slams against my back. Fuck. My eyes flicker open and are met with a turbulent sea of darkness. It feels like someone hit me in the back of the head with a rock. After a few moments, my pupils adjust and I can see the bright glow of Kai's blade above me on my left, far above me. Now I fucking fall off my bed. I look around and realize that the hard pressure against my spine is the solid floor of the dorm. What the hell? I've never accidentally rolled off a bed like this before. My paws push beneath me and get myself up into a sitting position. Kai? I can barely make out the slow rise and fall of his chest beneath the heavy covers cocooning around him. His tail is gently swishing from side to side, dangling off the edge of the bed. Seems like he's still asleep. Good. I'm glad I didn't wake him up with my clumsiness. I struggled a little to get onto my feet, but managed to do so without making too much noise, I hope. I wonder what time it is. I pick up my data pad and shake it a few times to turn on the display screen. 3:22. Fuck, it's so early. The warm allure of my own bed beckons me, but as I go to climb back in, a faint shadow flickers across the room, darting past me from the blacked out window. Aetherium's blade is simmering brightly above, softly illuminating the space around the dorm. I feel a cold draft caressing against my bushy tail as if the air itself is wrapping its icy paws around it. As if it runs up the entire length of my body, starting at my feet and working its way out to my fingertips. It's fucking freezing here. I make my way over to the window and look out onto the campus grounds with a hint of a bristle in my shoulders. The trees are slowly swaying from side to side in the wind, dancing with one another to a romantic tune that only they can hear. The light of Zenilia's moon is muted against the tinted glass, unable to penetrate it. Clover? Kai, was that you, dude? My eyes glance down to him, and I can see that his massive body is still moving with a gentle cadence as he snores. Who said that? I swear I can feel a presence, a person, something looking at me from just beyond my line of sight, calling to me with a mysterious charm, begging me. My throat turns bone dry as all the moisture in the air seems to be sucked away. After a few moments, I twist my muscles and dare myself to turn around, only to be met with nothing more than our empty dorm. Except, is the door open? But why the fuck is the door open? Without a second thought, I walk over to close it, and I'm going to make damn sure it's locked. Plover. I freeze in place, instantly unable to take another step. It's as if chains are rooting me to the floor, pinning me down like prey beneath a predator's massive claws. I definitely didn't make that up. Hello? Who's there? Cold air is seeping in through the door, driving away the safety and warmth of the dorm. I look over the collie for help, but he's still fast asleep, completely oblivious of my plight. But but the sword is flashing, pulsing. Whoever the fuck you are, you better knock it off right now. My eyes squint tightly together as I try to peer out into the shadowy hall. Just beyond the entrance, I see a slight movement at the corner, like someone's tail dragging across the floor before it vanishes out of sight. Every strand and tuft of fur on my body stands on end as I prepare to defend myself. The blade of Aetherion ripple from hilt to blade, silvering aggressively. Plover, don't go in the dark. There's a distant voice echoing towards me from far down the hall. Against my better judgment, I take a tentative step forward. The door closes behind me, sealing me out of the dorm. Motion. Just up ahead in the saddles. Well, I wouldn't give to have Kai's night vision right about now. The inky bear swallows me up in its maw as I walk towards the sound of the voice. It's calling to me, begging me to come to it, and like a puppet on strings, I'm compelled to obey. The voice continues to echo all around me as I move. It's unlike anything I've ever heard before, coming from everywhere and nowhere at once, like an ethereal being that's living in my past, present, and future. I feel a gentle pressure take me by the paw, leading me down the corridor like a child in its mother's care. Plover, would you like to see something? My feet come to a halt in the void that stretches out before me. The shadows are thick and relentless, enveloping me completely in their embrace. I blink rapidly, futilely, trying to get my bearings under control. Is someone there? My voice is hoarse and foreign sounding. It's like it's not actually me that's speaking. A circle echoes down the hall, in response, tickling my ears with its gleeful tone, and as clear as day, I see it. They happily look me up and down, roaming over my quivering body like I'm just a piece of meat. I see you, Plover. You decided to come and play? Good, good, good. The voice echoes inside my mind, consuming every chamber and facet of my sentience. But what do you want? What are you? The pair of eyes crinkle up as the creature smirks at me. What am I? My dear Plover, you already know the answer to that question. And you know exactly what I want from you. I can feel the energy leaving my body, being sapped away by the creature in the saddles. My feet threaten to collapse underneath me, and I place my paws on my knees just to keep me steady. I don't know what you're talking about. Just leave me alone, okay? Please just let me go. It chuckles at me, and I feel a wet nose pressing into my fur just beneath my chest. Let you go, little one. Let you go? Now where would be the fun in that? I thought we were just getting to know one another, Plover. No, I won't let you go. You're going to stay with me, and we're going to play for a very long time. 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 The last words echoes around me, bouncing from ear to ear, wrapping itself around my psyche. Time. Time. time, 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 time. My legs give out, and I collapse down onto my chest, pressed to the floor by a weight that spans over my entire body from the center of my back. Please, I beg you, please, please, please. My voice fades away, and I feel my throat start to constrict as the eyes roar at me. Plover, 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 plover. The roaring voice fades away, and my sight glazes over. Why am I? Plover, are you okay? What's going on? What are you doing in the hall, my friend? The presence, the voice, I still feel it, burrowed deep inside my mind. I, oh fuck, I can't fucking talk. I can't fucking talk. My throat gurgles and I start to cough and splutter on my own saliva. I gotta die. I gotta fucking die. I want to die. I don't wanna fucking die. Plover, what has happened? Speak to me, Plover. I am here for you. But I need you to speak to me. Damn it, Aetherium, please help him. Please let him speak. His bleeding prayer tumbles down around me, and he sounds so desperate. Help, someone, help him. His eyes are panicked as his booming voice roars into the hall, and I feel pain cascade through my body as Kai starts to shake me harder. A gasp of air rushes into my lungs, and the otherworldly grip on my mind seeps back into the very fabric of my reality. Tears start to run down my face, and an agonizing sensation suddenly shoots up into my body through my feet. Kai? He nods eagerly and pats me on the muzzle with a bit of force. Kai stops shaking me as I come back to consciousness, and he pulls me into a tight embrace. Yes, Plover, it's me. By Therion, what has happened to you? Are you okay? I try to tell my muscles to move. My head and my body begrudgingly complies. My paws flex at my side, and I feel a stinging sensation at the tips of my fingers. I'm not sure. I think I'm okay. Fuck, my legs hurt so much. But what the fuck happened to me, Kai? The switch from his paws around my back locks me into place as he holds me steady. I do not know, Plover. When I woke this morning, you were not in your room. You were not in the room. I had assumed you went for a walk or something of the sort in the morning light. I got dressed so that I might break my fast, and I found you here in the hall, staring at the ceiling. You were trembling, muttering something under your breath that I could not understand. He releases me and takes a step back, but keeps one paw on my shoulder to be safe. What the fuck? What the fuck? Do you often sleepwalk, my friend? I look down at myself and see that I'm half naked, only wearing the shorts that I went to sleep in. I lean into his touch for support, placing one paw on top of his. No, I've never sleepwalked before. Fear is still clinging to my chest like a disease slowly spreading throughout my body. I pause and feel stinging like I've been standing here for hours and my blood hasn't been circulating properly. The air in my lungs burns and my breathing is hollow and shallow. I try to clear my throat, but it's too dry, completely devoid of moisture. I don't know what happened. Kai looks even more concerned as he takes in the state of my disheveled state. Perhaps this is something to do with your condition. It is possible that you are more star-sick than you previously believed. Star-sick? Right, star-sick. He's right. The only reason this could have happened is the star sickness, right? It was just a dream, truly. A really, really vivid dream, nothing more. But it felt so damn real. Yeah, that's probably it. He seems to relax a bit at my confirmation, but it's obvious he's still really on edge. Perhaps it would be wise to see a doctor about this. I do not believe the symptoms were typically meant to be this severe. A doctor? Kai, what the hell is a doctor going to do? This isn't a cure for this. Well, there is a cure for this. There's no treatment. I sound a lot angrier than I actually am, which isn't shocking considering how worked up I currently am. He looks down at his paws and twiddles his claws together. My apologies, Plover. I'm simply trying to find a solution to what is clearly a significant and potentially dangerous problem. I did not mean to frustrate you further. My sigh echoes out into the hallway, and I pinch my claws over my forehead as I try to get myself to calm down. Yeah, I know. Sorry, I'm still just, wow. My nerves are slowly starting to return to normal with the passing of time, but I can't shake the feeling entirely. What did you see? Did you have a dream of some kind? I nod and start walking back to the dorm, with Kai following a few paces behind me. Yeah, I did. I dreamed that I saw someone, or something, and wanted me to go out into the hall to see something. That's all I really remember. Kai quickens his step, following pace beside me. It wanted to show you something. And you listened to it? What did it show you? The only thing I can do is shake my head as question. I really don't remember. We arrive at our door, 22T or 22T, and Kai reaches out his key card to open it. Well, whatever it is over now, and that's good. We step into our dorm, and I grab a shirt from my bag, slipping it over my head. My paws are trembling slightly, still as I do, so I have a hard time fitting my arms into the sleeves. Kai steps forward wordlessly and pulls my shirt down with one firm tug. There, much better, eh? Yeah, thanks for the help. I collapsed down into my bed with a huff. It was really, really vivid. I'm not quite sure what it wanted to show me, but it was serious, I see. Kai looks down at me with a smile tugging at the corners of his muzzle before he bursts out into laughter. Perhaps next time something asks you to follow it into the hall, do not give it what it wants. He chuckles at his own humor, but in spite of his jovial attitude, I can't shake the ominous feeling in my gut. Yeah, maybe I'll give that a try next time. Not a bad idea. What? I rub my eyes and look back up at Kai. Plover, you look like as if you're about to be sick. Oh gosh, why am I suddenly dizzy? I feel like I'm gonna pass out or something. Maybe a doctor isn't such a bad idea after all. There's gotta be some kind of medication to at least help with the symptoms, even if it won't cure me completely. So I had a moment, thought I saw something. Kai reaches forward and helps me to my feet. When was the last time you ate? Would you like to join me for my morning meal? Liz perked up a little at his offer. I think that's a great idea. I'd love to. He releases my arm and my sudden queasiness starts to fade away. Do you require my assistance to walk, or are you capable of such a thing on your own? I'm okay, just let me get some water from the bathroom before we go. My throat feels like it's on fire. He takes a step towards the door, waving at me from over his shoulder with one of his paws. Take care of whatever you need to. I shall wait for you here. Thanks, I'll be back in a moment. I quickly use the bathroom to splash water on my face from the sink, which is quite refreshing. The sudden shock of cold pretty instantly grounds me into reality. A few quick gulps later, I actually feel like I have my voice back now. My reflection in the mirror shows that my eyes are pretty bloodshot, and it looks like I didn't sleep a wink last night. Fucking hell, I look like shit. I use the water as best as I can to wash away the sleep from my eyes. I'm satisfied that I look mildly like a Solarian diplomat rather than a zombie recently awoken from the grave. I step back out into the dorm. Welcome back, Plover. You look much better. I feel much better, and I am very surprised. And I'm very pleased to hear it, little wolf. I grow a bit at the nickname, but choose not to make a fuss of it. Kai pats me on the shoulder and gently ushers me out the door. The gesture is reassuring, not to seem weak or feeble, especially since I am also pretty big compared to the Zenilirians, but having Kai around is definitely helping me to feel more secure. The presence of his paw on my shoulder reminds me that he has my back. Seems like Kai can actually be quite affectionate once he's warmed up to someone, which is very unexpected considering how he was vehemently against physical touch of any kind just last night. Oh, we gotta stop right here. All right, so we got to learn a lot more about Kai and the way his kind lives in Volterra, and he was he his kind were made to protect this religion, I think, and to do that, they had to be very fierce. They had to be very fierce. They had to be very tough to beat. Very tough and difficult to come up against, and they had to have a lot of features. A lot of advantages like being able to see in the dark and not really being able, and not really needing a fire since they can generate their own warmth. Like they don't need a fire, and the fact that once they turn around 8 or 9 years of age, the males they get taken out. You know, they get they're forced to be removed from their families, and they're forced into isolation for a while, and they had to use those capabilities. So yeah, it's a tough childhood for Kai, and he's very much conflicted about it. He doesn't like it, and we got to see him snap at Plover now. So first it was Acadia, then Atticus, and now Kai. Though Kai did apologize quickly, but they so now all three of them have kind of had their temper with Plover, whether it was for the right reason or not. I mean, Plover, he was just trying to help Kai, and Kai is not used to that kind of help. He hasn't really been all that much with somebody because it's culture. So I kind of understand why he snapped off at Plover like that. So yeah, that's very sad, for Kai, that kind of culture. And this voice that talks to Plover, I won- I wonder if it has anything to do with Kai, like because well, after the he recovered from that voice, he somehow managed to get into the hallway. So I guess the star sickness might have something to do with it, or maybe it could possibly be that sword that Kai has that's making Plover have all the experiences. Like maybe there's spirits in the sword itself. I guess I don't know. Anyway, or bad entities like so yeah, I don't know if it has anything to do with that sword, or maybe it has something to do with Kai himself, because after Kai took him back into the room from Plover somehow being out from Plover somehow walking out into the the hallway, and there's these birds chirping. That's the reason why I'm kind of distracted. These birds are chirping. It's early in the morning to have recording this. But anyway, after Kai brought Plover back into the room from the hallway, um, and they were talking about, Kai was talking to Plover about how he's feeling, and apparently Plover didn't fully recover from what he saw because it seemed like in his vision, Kai is flashing. He's kind of like flashing, like that. So I wonder what's gonna happen. Wonder if this has something to do with Kai himself. I don't know if it would be star sickness. Maybe it is, but I wonder. It might have something to do with Kai or that sword that he's having. I'm not sure, but we're gonna have to figure out what happens ahead. So I'm just gonna stop right now because these birds are chirping and they're really distracting. So thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.